Hi, it's Nikki here, and I'm speaking to you today. I'm hoping the Wi-Fi is working from LA. I'm here for a few weeks, and it's very, very nice here on the beach. I just want to give you a sneaky little picture of my view at the moment. Can you just see that? It's pretty cool, isn't it? We're here for a couple of weeks, so we're very, very lucky. We're right on the beach, and it's beautiful weather today. And I just wanted to check in with you actually. I wanted to talk to you today. I've had a conversation this morning about gut health, and it's something that comes up almost every time I speak to women, especially over 40, because it's a time when we're going through the hormone changes, and your gut has such an impact on your hormones that it's if things aren't quite right there, then the hormone changes can be exacerbated. So when we're looking at hormones, we're always looking at gut health as well. Now, there's a few things that happen in the gut to affect your hormones, and of course the biggest thing is nutrient absorption, because if you are eating lots of lovely food but you're not absorbing the nutrients very well, then obviously that has an impact on your hormones, because your hormones need all kinds of nutrients to work properly. The other thing is that there's a lot of metabolism that goes on in the gut, so your thyroid gets converted in the gut, and if the gut's not quite right, then that can be affected as well. We all know how much stress affects your gut. You know, those butterflies, or you know, the looser movements when you're a bit stressed, all to do with the hormone cortisol, because cortisol puts your body into stress mode, survival mode, fight or flight, and the last thing it wants to worry about is digesting food, so it kind of lets everything relax. Long term, obviously that causes issues. Hunger hormones are secreted in the gut as well, and these are designed to control your appetite. So if your gut's not quite working or producing the right hormones, then your appetite can be affected, and of course that will lead to all sorts of things. Leaky gut as well, so if your gut lining isn't quite integral or integrated, or it has little perforations in it which can be caused by undigested food or infections, then these toxins can come in, and then they can cause your immune system to overreact, and then that can cause autoimmune conditions and things like that. Constipation, that can cause build-up of waste and recirculation of estrogen. Your estrogen needs to be detoxed through the gut and the liver, and if you're blocked up all the time, that estrogen gets recirculated, and then we can get symptoms of too much estrogen, which we don't want, so the PMS, the bloating, the weight gain. So your gut has a huge impact on your hormones, is what I'm trying to say. So we need to look after it. And there's a couple of things that can cause gut issues. In my experience, it's usually one of two things. The first one is food sensitivities. Things that can cause inflammation in the gut. Now, the biggest ones are gluten and dairy. They're often linked. You can have one without the other, but they do generally come together. And if you're sensitive to those things, then that can cause inflammation in the gut. It can also cause an immune reaction. So all sorts of things can happen. And you'll get immediate digestive issues like constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating, that kind of stuff. But you don't necessarily get those things. You may actually get more systemic effects like fatigue and headaches and sluggishness and brain fog, joint pain, things like that. So it's not always very obvious. Now, the other things, I'm going to put this down a sec because I'm shaking a little bit here. There we go. That's better. The other thing that can cause gut issues are underlying gut infections. So things like bacterial infections or yeast infections often result of too many antibiotics in the past, or a poor diet, or just an underlying infection that keeps flaring up. So those are things that you can identify through tests, through stool tests or urine tests. They're very, very useful to identify any infections, because if you get to the root cause of what's causing the infection and the inflammation, then we can sort out the gut issues and the systemic issues that result from that. So, those are the two main ones. We have an incredible ecosystem in our gut that is very, very delicate. Trillions of species. We're more microbe than human, which is amazing, isn't it? And they have such an important role to play in our health. And if it's not right, if that balance isn't right, then it can affect everything. So it's really, really important to do that. And it's not just about taking probiotics either, because that, a lot of probiotics in capsule form can get through, but many of them don't. So very, very, and it's also, you're taking a few strains of species in a probiotic that you may actually not need. You may be one of the trillions of other species that's actually missing. So it's quite a precise science actually, but good to know what's going on in the first place, because that actually helps you then with the protocol afterwards. Otherwise you're just kind of guessing a little bit. So really important if you have gut issues to get them sorted, because they do put you at high risk of other things in the future. So diarrhea, constipation, heartburn, bloating, gas, anything like that, pain, any kind of pain after food, or if you're not having one bowel movement a day as well. I hate to talk about poo, but it's really important. If you're not having one a day, then you're prone to constipation, and that's the build-up of waste and toxins, and it's a sign that things aren't quite right. So it's really, really important to get some help on that. So just some thoughts today on gut health, and hope you've enjoyed that. Any questions, pop them in the comments, and hope you're having a lovely summer.